Okay.
Charlie!
Well, good morning. Welcome to episode 2 of Beyond the Net. I'm here with Vijay and our special guest of the morning.
Don't tell her who
We're
it is yet.
not gonna introduce our guest just yet.
Right.
So we have a few other little things to talk about, and thanks to all of the over 200 views that we
Last
got.
night I checked, 215.
215.
It's double what I
We're
expected.
picking up speed here, and looking forward to your feedback on our second episode. But we're really happy to be here today and talk a little bit about. Vijay's got a nice list of things we're going to cover off on. Everything from where we finished up our season, tournament that we have amongst the JV team, and a couple other things we're going to talk about, right, Vijay?
Right. We were supposed to have episode 2 last week,
Correct.
but the passing of Father Kaufman, respectfully,
God rest his soul. Yeah.
we delayed it. I guess that we can now introduce our
Yeah. So
special guest.
really very special guest that came into my life 3 years ago and into Robbie's, into Vijay's life.
I've known Robbie for, I
long
just gave
time
it
ago.
away, didn't we?
That's okay. That's okay.
Hi, everyone.
It's hi. Welcome, Coach Robbie.
Thank you so much.
So happy to have you here, and
Thanks for inviting me.
How long have
This
we
is
known
fun.
each other?
I would say
10 years? It's
more-
before CC.
It would be before CC, and I've been here at CC for 10 years, right?
Oh wow.
So I'd
You
say,
came in fall of 15,
Mhm.
right after. I wish my son would have played for you.
yeah, fall 15. Is that when I started? Okay. So I'm finishing up then my 10th season. Is that how that
Yeah,
works? Something like that.
Yeah, it would be
okay.
your 10th season. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've known each other for probably closer to 15, 20
Yeah.
years. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
And did we always have a JV team from when you got here?
Yeah, when I first got here, we had a very small JV team.
Okay.
In fact, I was a little concerned at the get-go that we would have enough players to make a JV team. I think we shook out the trees and gathered up around 14 players. So
Okay.
we did. But that was one of my goals as early on taking on the position, is knowing that it was going to be the JV team that was going to fuel the varsity team.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as we get strength in numbers and strength in desire, that's going to lead to stronger JV players that will lift up the varsity team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we
Do-
see
do we
that.
we introduced her, but I don't think we said she's the head coach,
Yeah.
tennis coach here at Catholic
Oh yeah,
Central.
that's right. Yeah, that's
You are
right.
the head coach.
I am the head coach. Yeah.
There's no question
I mean-
about that. When you walk through the halls, people are.
No,
Howie.
no, you know that's
I just thought of that because the millions of views we get.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
People are gonna, who's this? Right?
Well, it'll be in the thousands, I'm sure, which would be which would be great.
So, Rob, just to give us a quick background on your tennis background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you grew up. the whole-
I kind of know it, but
Yeah.
tell
Well,
us.
you guys played at Cranbrook the other day, right?
We did.
And they have that new facility, but they have the old courts.
They
Yes.
do.
Well, those old courts is where I started playing tennis.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You went to Cranbrook?
I did not go to Cranbrook, but I lived a quarter of a mile away from Cranbrook.
Okay.
So you lived
So-
on Bloomfield Hills.
I lived in Bloomfield Hills. Yep, on
Okay.
Harlan Drive,
Okay.
right off of Corton.
Yeah.
But you can kind of go through Lone Pine and Rudgate and
Your
get
house
to.
is still there.
And you know what? My house, I drove by it the other day because we played the Catholic leagues. Yes, my house is still there. A number of the houses have been demolished and new big, huge houses have been replaced.
Right.
But our house is one of the few houses that's still standing, which
that's so
which is
good.
fun. Yeah, my sister and her friends rode their bike over to the courts, and you know how the courts are located inside the campus there, so
Yes.
you can't see them, right?
Yeah.
And I had been playing ping pong with my dad and all, and followed my sister to the courts. And I had my brother's, old wooden racket. My brother's who's 11 years older than me, so you can imagine how old the racket was.
Right.
And so I went out there and said to my sister and her friends, my sister's 3 years older than me, and so I'm 10 and she's 13. I don't know.
You're the youngest?
I'm the youngest of 6. Yeah. So the way that goes down when you're a 10-year-old and you say, hey, you want to hang out with your 13-year-old sister?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I said, can I play with you all? And she goes, no, you're not good. And I went, oh, man, right there, the gauntlet fell.
Oh, yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
And they had this, where the parking lot is now, they had a big backboard. So I was watching kids, and they'd be practicing on the backboard, and there was a lot more backboard playing when we were younger.
Yeah, sure.
So I would watch some of the really good kids, and they'd be practicing all their strokes on the backboard. So I just started copying them, And then lo and behold, I'd come out there like on a daily basis because my goal was to get good enough to play with my sister or to really beat my sister. And then one of the coaches took notice of me and started feeding me into the group lessons. And within like 2 months, he asked me if I wanted to play a tournament. And I'm a little bit competitive, if you haven't all noticed.
Just a little.
I was like, literally my kindergarten report card says that she's very competitive. She loves, I'm like, what? I'm 6? And you notice that I'm somewhat competitive? So, so he said, hey, do you want to play the tournament? And I said, sure. So on that particular day, I rode my bike down there. And by the way, my parents didn't know I was doing any of this because what had happened was I was the youngest of 6. So whenever I would ask them if I could do something, they would always, they were busy. And they're like going, no, we don't want to add something to our schedule.
Right,
okay?
right. We're jam-packed already.
Yeah, we're already jam-packed. So their response was no. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go do my thing. It was just I would ride my bike a quarter mile, get off the bike, go play some tennis. So I play my first tournament, and I beat I'm 10, now mind you, I'm 10. So when you're 10 years old, and my dad had already told me as a ping pong player, just run, get the ball over the net and on the table. So this is just a big ping pong table in my mind.
Nice.
So I just ran around and I just love sports. I mean, I'd already been playing backyard soccer, backyard whatever. And I won the tournament. I beat the number 2 girl in the state.
Okay, at 10?
At 10. And then she played with me as a doubles partner, and we won the doubles tournament too. So now the problem is that I didn't have one of those baskets to carry my trophies in, so I kind of had to walk my bike back
with your 2 trophies?
with my 2 trophies in my hand. And I still remember they were not that big of trophies, man, but those were my first trophy. I love those trophies.
You still have them?
They're somewhere, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
So I'm walking
good.
my bike home through the neighborhood, and my mom's driving through the neighborhood, and she pulls over, and she's like, what are you doing? And I said, oh, I just played my first tennis tournament, So then, lo and behold, it turns out that I really had it in my genes, the whole tennis thing. My mom was a tennis player when she grew up.
No kidding. I didn't know that either.
So she showed me a picture.
She never told you that.
She had never told me that. She showed me this picture when she was a camp counselor and her playing tennis.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
So we started playing. So it got her back in playing tennis. She hadn't played for years.
Nice.
My sister now wants to play. So the 3 of us now go down to Cranbrook all together.
Oh, how nice is that?
Yeah, and then we also belong to a club by the name of Bloomfield Open Hunt Club. And my mom would still try to get me to swim, so she'd still drop me off to go swimming. And I didn't like swimming. So as soon as she left the parking lot,
You went right to the tennis court?
I went right to the tennis courts. So
love
it
that.
was all tennis from there on in. So anyway, then I played the USTA tournaments, got to high school, loved high school tennis.
Where did you go to high school?
I went to Bloomfield Hills Lasser High School.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I went to grade school at Academy of the Sacred Heart, and then I left and went to Bloomfield Hills Lasser, was number 1. And then my sophomore year, I was runner-up at states, got done on that day. I still remember thinking I hated to lose. I absolutely hated to lose. I'm coming back to win this. And the following season, I got up every single morning at 6 o'clock in the morning before school and would practice my tennis, and then I would do
I'm so glad you're saying this.
and then
love
I
that,
would,
Robbie.
this is true life, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not
No,
saying
I
this
know.
just because I know
Our
what you
boys
all
need to
do.
hear this.
Exactly. And then, so I would get up every morning and practice, and then I would also stay and practice with the team afterwards. So
love that.
I did that every single day for the whole season. And in fact, what I did is that, it's always fun to do something with somebody, right?
Of course.
So I was playing, they called it Class A at the time, but essentially Division I. And my best friend, who was still at Academy of the Sacred Heart, she was Division II. So when I called her at the beginning of the season and I said, hey, how about if I win the high school states of Division I and you win the high school states of Division II?
You proclaimed it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I said, and then we get up in the morning and we practice together and we'll both win our high school states. And she's like, I'm in. And we both did.
Wow,
Julie Bookmeyer.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was fun.
Isn't it, again, we talked about the red thread, right?
Yeah.
But isn't it always the over and above that gives us the extra? The over and above effort, getting up early before school, doing your regular practice, staying after practice, doing all those little things that really cumulatively add up, without expecting the result. I'm going to get up one morning and I'm going to be great. Well, no, it takes many mornings to do that, so.
Well, one thing you have to keep in mind, I hated getting up in the morning. Absolutely hated it. In fact,
Even more.
I devised ways of trying to be able to sleep in because, when your parents say get up in the morning, what do they say get up for? They say get up to get dressed, right? They'll say
Yeah.
get up and get dressed, right?
Yes, yeah.
Well, I would hear that over and over again, like get up and get dressed. So I thought, well, if I go to bed dressed.
You told me this.
If I go to bed dressed,
Come on, Robbie.
then I don't have to get up so early.
You get what, 5 more minutes?
Yeah, exactly. So I'd go to bed dressed. That's how much I hated getting up in the morning. Okay.
Oh my
All
goodness.
right. So, when I first started playing tennis, and I was, in indoor tennis when I was real young, my tennis coach would pick me up at 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday mornings.
Nice.
And it just indicated to me you are willing to do things that you absolutely hate to do if you love doing what you're doing.
Yeah, so true.
If you love what you're doing, you're
Yeah.
gonna go through the struggle, and that's what grit's all about, right?
Yeah.
There's no.
And you can't explain it. You're like going, "Why do you love tennis so much?" I don't know. I just love the feeling of running around hitting a tennis ball.
Yeah.
And then, so I had success in high school, and then what happened was I had a setback. My mom died, and in that I kind of didn't have that connection anymore with.
Yeah.
I lost my connection with.
Your mom
which
died
was your
after
mom?
high school?
No, my mom died while I was still in high school. Yeah.
Oh,
So when I did win high school states, my mom had already died.
Oh dear.
And but then I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna stop playing tennis. I just kind of felt like a loss.
Yeah, of course.
But as various events took place, one of my friends called me my senior year, and I kind of took it on as a challenge,
Yeah, sure.
to get back out on the tennis court, which I did, and then I rediscovered how much I loved the game. And then I was reminded that I discovered the game on my own. No one else really discovered it for me.
Correct.
So that's when I reignited again and decided to be a walk-on at Michigan. And then I played for Michigan.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
So
yep.
you stopped for almost a full year, Rob?
I stopped for 6 months.
6 months. You
Yeah.
stopped for a season. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So glad that you.
is this high school?
No, that was college.
Yeah, we're looking at a picture.
Yeah, that was college.
That was college. Okay.
Yeah, that was like freshman years.
So can
college,
you?
Yeah.
Can you just talk a little bit about walking on at Michigan? What's
Yeah.
it like?
Wow.
You just find it when tryouts are and you show up with a group of people?
Yeah, it was. I mean,
Was it
it's
at
not
the-
for the faint of heart. I can
No,
tell you
that's
that.
that's what I asked.
Not for the faint of heart.
No, it's got to be very
You-
intimidating.
It is like it's not like, hey, welcome. It's not a little.
Yeah, you're
You know.
competing against scholarship players, right?
Yeah, I was competing against scholarship players, and they don't want to be, ousted, right?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
and majority of the players were almost everybody was from out of state, so I was like the only one at the time. I think Marianne was maybe one of the only few people from Michigan, but yeah,
But
majority
realize-
of the
look at
players.
this. She's won the state title, Division One,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she's not offered anything at
Nothing,
Michigan,
yeah,
right?
nothing.
That's how good they are.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. I did, just so y'all know, like that January before I started, my coach encouraged me to go and talk to their coach and try out. And, it's interesting because, they watched me play and stuff and they said I wasn't good enough, I'm like, okay. And I came home and I'm like, okay, they said I wasn't good enough. And then there was a switching of coaches. So then I decided, you know what? My heart was into it more. In January, my heart wasn't into it. But when I showed up for that in the summer, I really worked hard on my game. I mean, I played like every single day. I had coaches that were there for me, that supported me, and I showed up, and the majority of the players were nationally ranked players, and it was very intimidating.
Oh, I bet it was.
But I befriended. It's always wonderful when you connect with somebody.
Yeah.
And there was a girl, Jill Hertzman, who was also a walk-on, and we were kind of like befriended each other, and we were going to take it on. We were going to, and she was from Kentucky, and the two of us both made it, and we were instant friends. So I was playing 4 singles, and she was playing 5 singles. I'm not exactly sure why Ollie never put us together at doubles, but I played number 1 doubles, and
He's the head coach.
Ollie was the coach.
Yeah, Ollie was the head coach. Yeah.
So what are the tryouts like? Is it just like we do here when we try out?
It's you got to go out there and compete.
Yeah.
And if you win, you continue on, and if you lose, you're pretty much out.
Yeah.
So there were a number of people that were trying out.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just kept winning, and made the team.
People kept getting cut.
Oh yeah,
Cut,
yeah.
cut.
And you have to keep in mind I think we only took 8 players. That's it. It's not like you're taking.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So the odds are.
So you have in college tennis, there's 6 singles, and there's 3 doubles. So only 6 of us are playing in the lineup.
Yeah, that's.
And then there's, I think
crazy.
we had 2 people on the bench. Yeah.
So how high did you get?
4 was my highest in singles, and then 1 was, I played number 1 doubles. Yeah.
And who was your doubles partner?
My first year, Kathy Vanderweg was my doubles partner, and she was, oh my God, she played number 1 singles, and she was very good.
And her game from your game, the difference between the two?
She had more weapons in
Okay.
terms of powerhouse weapons,
Okay.
a bigger serve.
Yeah.
I was more quick. I was like a little rabbit.
Yeah.
I was quick to react, and I would be willing to run any ball down and surprise my opponent. And I was a very good defensive player.
Nice.
Given an opportunity, I will tell you a funny thing.
Please.
Is that I did not have an overhead.
You were playing doubles?
Correct.
Really?
Don't ask me why. I had a shoulder problem, growing up, and I don't really remember, practicing my overheads much. But man, that lob would go up, and I was so good at saying yours.
You handed it off.
Oh, I handed it off, and man, did she deliver.
Oh, that's so good.
It was just like an automatic yours, and then she's smacking away.
It's so nice you can rely on that.
Oh, here we go again.
We're late for class
We're
again.
late for class again, yeah.
You two. Detention for both of
Attention
you.
for both,
So,
the 3 of us.
did you play in the NCAA playoffs? Or how was the system then?
The system is that you would qualify individually, and the players that would qualify were like the, depending upon where you ended up your results. So I did not qualify for the
Even though you were
NCAA.
number 1 doubles.
Yeah, we did not
You don't
qualify.
go as a doubles team. You go as
I don't remember all that. Vijay.
But your
Yeah.
season, because
Yeah.
I used to go and watch the boys doubles out at Varsity Center.
Right.
It's the same. Back then, it was the same Big Ten teams. You would play Ohio State, play Indiana.
Yes.
You would play those.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we would do we play all the Big Ten teams, the Michigan States, and Indiana was the team to beat
Okay.
back in the day.
And
yeah.
did you play at the Varsity Center? Was that there when you were there?
No.
So where did you guys play?
Oh my goodness. No, it was called the track and fields, and it was, I don't even know if that building's still there. Yeah, it was
Right on campus, though.
right on campus.
Okay.
Yeah, right on campus.
And did you live on campus, Robbie?
I did. I lived for the first 2 years, I lived in South Quad.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah, so what would happen is that the building, it was more like a field house.
Okay.
And it was a rubberized surface. The other teams wouldn't, because of the court surface, they weren't willing to play our matches there. It was so bad.
Rubberized, so it'd be more.
It was
sticky.
rubberized, yeah, very sticky.
Yeah.
Yep.
So a
And
slower game.
Yeah.
Huh?
yes, slower game.
Yeah, just bite into the ball.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there was a netting. It was not a solid, like windscreen or anything. There was just a netting that would go around the courts, and then the track was on the outside of the courts. So you'd watch everybody running their track. You'd see all the pole vaulters. You'd hear the guns going off.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, yeah, and then
Right
they-
as you're serving?
Oh yeah, while you're serving. Yeah, that took a little time to get used to. Hearing the going off,
Yeah.
and you're like, whoa. And then the pole vaulters are going. Then you'd have the cheerleaders practicing on one end, and then the batting practice.
Oh, the crack of the
practicing.
bat while
Oh,
you're
yeah.
trying to
Oh,
hit
yeah.
a
Oh, yeah.
volley.
Yeah.
Great.
So when it
You-
comes
you-
to sound, it's like
Yeah,
noise
you-
does not bother me
You
at all.
really have to be focused, right?
Oh yeah, you have to tune it all out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get distracted by the
The
lawnmower.
lawnmowers.
Here they come again.
Yeah, it was fun. It was very fun.
Good morning.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. No apologies needed.
How are y'all?
We're good, thanks.
Doing good.
Carry on.
Thank you.
We will.
So let's.
Yeah.
So you played 4 years?
I played 3 years. My shoulder kind of gave out on me at the end
Your
of 3
senior
years. Yeah, my senior
Oh,
year.
that's too bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then from there, just help us. So Michigan's, you do your career at Michigan.
Yeah.
And
Finish up.
then-
Yeah.
You knew tennis was your career. Is that how you wanted it to be?
I graduated with the econ degree. In my world, I was thinking I was going to get I didn't look at the time. I didn't look upon like teaching tennis was going to be my full-time career.
Okay.
I come from a family of business people, CPAs, doctors.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought that was going to be my journey, somewhere down the road, like doing some type of business. And but the tennis clubs contacted me, when I graduated and wanted me to, work at their club. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm making pretty good money. This seems like fun. And
Yeah.
so I started working at Chippewa in Ann Arbor.
Sure.
And enjoyed it. The only thing I remember was I thought to myself, wow, the biggest shift here is that when you teach,
Yeah.
you really need a lot of patience.
Patience.
For sure.
And
I agree.
that was my question to myself. Do I have, enough patience
Yeah.
to work with someone when you're showing them something and they're not picking it up or they don't have the same level of athleticism that you do? Can you work with that? And the answer was yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Because I love sharing. I just love seeing people enjoy getting better,
Oh, for sure.
when they start hitting that shot better, that serve better, they come back, and whether it's an adult or a kid going, wow, I just played this match and I played so well. And I was talking to, in fact, it was funny, I was talking to Jude yesterday, and I said, so what helps you? And he goes, I don't know. He goes, I just hear your voice in my head. And I've had people say that to me,
It's so funny.
Yeah.
When Vijay and I, when we play and we make a shot, that is a byproduct of your teaching.
Aw, that's
we
so
call
sweet.
we call out your name, Coach Robbie.
I,
Whether
You
it's the
remember,
drop shot or we were
the short ball.
The
Remember,
short ball, yeah.
Oh, the
you teach-
approach shot, yeah.
I made a great short ball
yeah
shot. I go, and I'm walking back to serve. I go, Robbie.
yeah. So that's great.
Yeah. So then I just kept going at it, and then worked in Ann Arbor for quite a few years, and then Mark Pinchoff opened up the Novi Athletic Club, and
Yes.
I've known Mark since I was 11 years old.
Oh, no kidding.
And he was looking for staff, and he contacted me and asked me to go over to Novi and start working there.
Was he a tennis player too, Robbie?
Oh yeah. Oh, Mark was one of the top players, not only in the state but in the Midwest, and went semi-pro.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Very good player.
Is he still at Novi Athletic Club?
He still is the owner.
Okay.
of Novi Athletic Club. Yep, Mark Pinchoff.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So then, how did you get here?
So what happened is that, you know, I was in Ann Arbor and decided to start coaching high school tennis. You know, and you can't. It's not like, how do I say this? Even though I was coaching at a club, there's kind of a network of people when it comes to coaching.
Yeah.
And so I applied and at Skyline, and they said, well, we have a head coach, and but you could be our JV coach. And I thought, at first, what? A JV coach? No, that's below me, right?
Oh,
And right, like you're
I
right.
love that you said that.
And I really thought, no, I don't think I want to accept that. And then I thought about it, and I thought, you know what, go for it. Let's see, you know, and to break into the coaching world. And,
Yeah, of course.
right? And Skyline was a new school. I think it was like their first or second year open. And I had this group of girls, like 16 girls that pretty much had never played tennis before.
Patience is necessary.
And I am telling you, we had a blast, an absolute blast. We didn't win much, but we got better, and we had fun. And then after that season, it turned out that they needed the varsity boys coach that position was opened up. So there you have it, right? So I was in a position to move into the position that I wanted.
Perfect.
So I took the varsity position at Skyline.
well, let me ask you this. So
for the boys.
This is like what, 2000, early 2000s? What is it?
This would have been, the exact date would have probably been, 2010, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
No, yeah, 2010, 9,
Okay.
right around there.
Were there a lot of women coaches coaching boys varsity?
No, no.
Zero.
No,
Yeah.
no.
So you were kind of
You're
like a groundbreaker, yeah.
Coach.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't ever, you know,
But-
I don't ever think of myself as a groundbreaker. I just step into things that I want to do.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
I love
yeah.
that.
No,
Yeah.
but looking at it
So-
from the outside, you go,
Yeah.
That's-
Wow.
yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
when people point that out, I'm like, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
You just follow. You follow your spirit, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So that was your first year coaching varsity.
For the varsity boys at Skyline.
And
Yeah.
how was that first year, and how long did you stay there?
I was there for 3 years. We were 7th in the state. You know,
That's
we
strong.
were competing against Pioneer and Huron,
Okay.
and so we were like
All good schools, yeah.
Yeah, we were like the little brother, as they say. You know.
Yeah.
You know, like the little guy, but we did well.
That's
yeah.
excellent.
And so then they had a new AD, and I was working with the boys, the Skyline boys, during the summer, right? And so at the end of that season, the community rec department took over the courts, and they wouldn't let me coach on the courts.
Oh, no
So I was a
kidding.
little confused by that, and the AD unfortunately wasn't able to change that. And I wanted to develop these kids.
Of
The only way
course.
I can develop kids is to work with them in
Yeah,
the
of cour-
summer.
absolutely.
Community ed, you know, was taking over the courts, so I thought, you know, I've got to find someplace else to go. And also the driving from, now I had moved to Novi, and now I was doing the reverse car, you know, driving.
Reverse
and
commute, yeah. Yeah.
So I thought, you know what, I would really like to live in Novi and work at Novi. So I was at the club one day, and Todd Byer, who you know,
Yeah, sure.
and
Yeah,
Todd Byer,
I
you know,
work for
and
Todd,
Todd, in fact, what's his son's name?
Austin.
Austin helped us that one year. So Todd, we were at the club, and I don't know why, but Todd just came up to me. I don't even know, I'd really been talking to him much about things, and he just came up to me and goes, you know, I just heard that the job at CC just opened up for the varsity tennis coach. I said, really? So I don't think I saw it posted or anything. I just simply called the AD office and said I'd like to, you know, apply for the position. And I came in, and had a talk with Mr. Babbitts and just really enjoyed talking to him and just felt aligned with it. You know,
Yeah,
I
sure.
grew up at a Catholic grade school. And then I confessed that my brother went to Brother Rice.
And they still hired you.
And they still hired me, see?
That's awesome.
So that's how kind of the journey began, which it's amazing how God works. It is amazing because it was just how everything lined up, the timing of it.
We
Yeah,
see
where
it.
I was ready to move out of that position of Skyline because of events that had taken place. Someone told me about the job, and then just walking in here and knowing that, you know, CC has a great reputation, but as you both know, it's like once you get in here and you start working here, it's amazing world.
It really
I mean,
is.
CC is an amazing place to be,
There's no
and
doubt.
how you see how they impacts the life of these young men. These boys come in
extraordinary.
as a freshman, and then they graduate as seniors. It's transforming.
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There is a very special feeling here. There's no question about it. And when you're here, you see it from the outside, but when you're here, it's penetrating. It's quite a blessing for sure.
Yeah.
So now you're here,
So now I'm here,
and you have a varsity team. That's
and I've been here for
really-
10 years.
Wow.
And you guys are with me now.
Yeah.
I love how God just brings people into my life that show up. I mean, Vijay, I know you joke about the fact that that you were the only one with that.
You're the only one that applied.
Yeah.
But it was perfect because I knew you knew the culture. Your boys had gone to CC. You know, you had watched the boys play. Benjamin play tennis here, and I knew you knew about the program. You know, yeah.
So let's switch a little bit. So
Okay.
tomorrow you have regionals.
Oh my God, yeah. So excited. So
And,
excited for
so
regionals
just
tomorrow.
For those that don't
Yeah.
know, can you just tell us about regionals, what that means, Robbie, and how that's decided? Who goes and how does
Yeah,
that-
so every
Is it every year?
every
Okay.
year at this time of the year, there's 8 different regions, and all the schools are invited. You know, who have a tennis team are invited.
From all the 8 regions.
Yes. So there are 8 regions, and we're in region. I think we're in region 3. Yes, we are. We're in regional 3, and the teams that are in regional 3 are Dearborn, Etzelford, Fordson, us, CC, Churchill, Livonia, Churchill, Stevenson, Northville, Novi, and Southfield.
Okay.
So that regional tournament, based on your results, they're going to be taking the top 3 from this region, and then those top 3 teams will move to the state championships.
Got
And
it.
things happen very fast because we're going to have regionals tomorrow, and then we have states next Friday.
Wow.
Very
That's
fast,
quick.
yeah.
So on Friday, they will know who the top 3 teams are.
Yes, at the end of tomorrow. Yes, yeah.
But how do you become
Yeah.
the top 3 at regionals? What do you have?
So what we do is that to make up the draw, so there's 8 flights, and to make up the draw,
4 singles, 4 doubles.
there's 4 singles and 4 doubles, and based on your record throughout the season, you get a seed. Okay, so if you've won majority of your matches, you'll get the first seed, and if and so we had a seeding meeting on Monday to determine the seeds
And you do that with the other coaches?
with all the other coaches. Yeah, so we meet with the regional manager is Dan Lowe's over at Novi.
Okay.
And then Bob shows up, your neighbor. That's hysterical.
From
his
Northville.
neighbor is the Northville coach.
Yeah.
And the various coaches all show up, and then we discuss it. So this year we have more first seeds than we have had since I started.
Based on
So we are
record.
based
Yeah.
on record. We have a first seed at Noah Thompson at 2 singles. We have a first seed at Tyler Winton's at 3 singles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we have a first seed at 4 singles with Graham Long. Chase almost got it. Chase had a great win against Northville early in the season. Had a
Chase is your number 1.
Chase is our number 1. Yep, Chase Canetti. And then he took a 3-set loss at Pioneer, and then there was a comparable where he lost to Pioneer and Northville won. So anyway, now as we progress throughout the tournament, every single match you win, you get a point. Okay. And whoever ends up the teams with the 3 most points will go to the states. Or you can also qualify by getting 18 points.
Okay.
But we won't have a problem qualifying. That's not my goal. Is that when we played Northville earlier in the season, we swept the singles. We won.
Congratulations, that's great.
So if we sweep the singles, this is what we're shooting for. We sweep the singles, and then we win one of the doubles. And we are definitely in position to win one of the doubles.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, one doubles. What's so great about our team is they love to compete.
Mm-hmm.
So they have another gear. You know what I'm talking about?
I see it on the courts and when
They
I'm practicing.
they absolutely have another gear, and this is a tough group of boys. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
And when they're ready to compete, they're going to show up tomorrow, and we could be finishing first in regionals, and that hasn't happened
I see
since
that in the
2011.
practices.
I
I
do
look
too.
over the fence and I go, these guys are goofing around. But then they must have a switch. They go, it's time to get serious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could see that. You
Yeah.
hear that when we're on the
Especially
other
my
side.
buddy Tyler.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
But he
yes.
locks in.
Yeah.
He does lock
He,
in.
And who's
he
num-
acts like he doesn't care, but he
Oh,
does.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And who's
He
number?
he is very free flowing. I've never seen he
Yeah.
is competitive, and he had a great match against one of the best number 3 players in the state, the Cranbrook guy, and took him to 3 sets, which is crazy. Yeah,
His ankle's okay. His foot.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He's ready to go.
And who's number 1 doubles for you, Rob?
Zach Mentzer and Ryder and they're turning it on.
Okay.
They're getting stronger every practice, every match. They had a really solid match against Stony Creek.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. And were they number 1 from the beginning of the season as well?
They are. Yeah. What we do is we at the first week we do 20 hours that first week so we can get decide on the team and then decide on the
Okay.
on the whole lineup. Yeah. Yeah.
And
The
then-
only thing that switched throughout the season was just 4 doubles because Victor, of course, was injured for
Injured,
a
okay.
little bit. Yeah.
Yep.
But Victor and Ethan, they've had some very solid wins. Yeah.
So for the most part, when you and Coach Jake set the teams, those teams go right through the season.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
because
And
you want to build a record,
Yeah.
so that you get to the seeding meeting and you have a
Yeah,
record.
it's different than us, where
Yeah.
we move up. If you're playing better, you're going to move up.
We
Right?
interchange
Yeah, we don't have to
people.
worry
Okay.
about seating.
No, that's
Yeah.
great. That's really good. So regionals tomorrow outside at Novi.
Yeah, yeah,
A brisk morning start it will be.
yes, it will
There's,
be
there's no.
Well,
no
last
Yeah.
year, last year
Yeah.
you took the boys over there to get
acclimated,
Acclimated,
to
yeah.
it on a Sunday morning. We
Yeah.
did that. Skipped it this year. Didn't feel a need for it. Yeah,
That's good. That's real good.
I think it's going to warm up pretty fast.
yeah, tomorrow's supposed to be warm.
Yeah, and all the kids, the way that the draw's set up, we're going to have buys, so we're not going to be first match on. We have to.
Okay.
We're probably most likely. We're gonna probably get second. We'll be on after the first round.
But you'll
Yeah.
all show up and check in.
We're gonna show up and check in because there's gonna be a players meeting at 8:15 in the morning.
Okay, and that's right at Novi High School?
Yeah, so we'll get there at 7:45, get some hitting in, and then do the players meeting, and yeah. So hopefully we'll
great.
have some people
So-
coming out to cheer for.
We go.
Cheer for us, yeah?
After we play, we'll go
Okay.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Just a quick, and my son's going to hate me for saying this, but in the fall of 14, you remember Vijay?
Yes,
They were,
Ridron. Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
partners.
Okay.
They needed 1 point to get to state. The last match of the day was my son and BJ, and guess what? And everybody's watching, and they lost.
Oh,
My son was not happy.
that's
for,
crushing.
That is crushing.
You know, I'll tell you, when I took on the team in 2015, and, you know, the format was, it was tougher to get through the regionals to get to states. You know, this year will be the first change up, but we would have gotten to states no matter what. I mean, like I said, we got 3 flights that are first seeds. But the first year I coached and we didn't make it, half that team was in tears.
Oh, for
And
sure.
I just thought, wow,
Yeah,
these guys really want it.
the impact.
You know, the impact. They really want to go to that next level.
Oh, for sure.
So, Yeah. So now I usually am the one who cries tears of joy. I mean, when
That's- of
you know,
course.
even a couple of years ago when Alec Maynard, you know, won in 2022,
At three-
you know,
at three
he
singles.
won the state title at three singles, 27-0.
And then
you
how
know.
about states? Where does that happen, and how is that scored
Yeah.
to be
So
state champ?
yeah. So we're gonna be playing at Grand Rapids. This is the first time I've ever been to Grand Rapids.
And that's outside. That's
And
inside.
it's outside.
Outside,
Yeah,
okay.
outside courts. Yep.
And that'll be a week from Friday.
A week from Friday. We're going to do the seating meeting. So all the coaches are going to get together and again look at your results and decide on the seeds.
Results from regionals. Now you look at those results,
Yeah.
and now you put the seeds for
Seeds for the states.
States,
Yep.
okay,
And then
great.
you'll get a point for every single match you win at states.
Is that a one-day tournament as well?
No, it's 2 days. So you'll play. Most players will, depending if you get a bye or not, you'll play two to three rounds on Friday, and then the semis and finals on Saturday.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, it's
So
big. It's
big
big.
sleepover. Families are there. It's
Yes,
the whole thing, right?
yes. So we're hoping to get a few of the flights into the second day,
And for
into
those who
Saturday.
are listening, where are the
Yeah.
courts in Grand Rapids? Is it at a high school or a college?
It's at a high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grand Rapids High.
Off the top of my head.
That's okay. Don't worry.
I have been like thinking about so many other things. I
course.
and I haven't been to Grand Rapids, so I'm not real familiar
Oh,
with
it's a
all
great
the
town. You'll
with
love
all
it.
the courts that we're going to be playing at. Yeah, it's the next thing on my agenda.
That's perfect.
Hey, Robbie, so nobody gets slighted. You mentioned several of your players. Why don't you go through?
Yeah, go through your
the
roster.
ones you
Okay,
haven't.
so Chase Gannetti
Yeah.
playing number 1.
Number one singles.
Fighter, yes. Noah Thompson, absolutely dominating at 2 singles. He'll hopefully get more than likely get a seed at states. Tyler Wittens, playing 3 singles, playing unbelievably well. Great defensive, has a lot of things in his toolbox, just throws out everything. Our freshman, Graham Long, who has been fighting through a lot of 3-set matches,
Okay.
some big wins in his three-set matches, beat Brother Rice
No kidding.
on their home turf. That is not easy.
Tough environment.
Very tough
I
environment.
agree.
You've got I don't know where they got all these people. It was almost like a football crowd
Yeah.
and cheering against Graham and still pulled it
Held
out.
his own and won.
Yep. Zach and Ryder
At one doubles.
at 1 doubles. Zach Menser and Ryder. And I just think they're going to show up tomorrow and do really well.
Okay.
2 doubles. We've got Patrick Wisniewski and Mike Shee, and they've been playing well all year long. I mean, it's so much fun to see these kids because they just keep getting better and better.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to see what's going to happen tomorrow. Sadvik and Zach Sobchak, 3 doubles. They're 2 seeds ahead of Novi, and they've had a fantastic season.
That's
I mean,
really good.
just smart playing, dominant. I mean, Sadvik sets everything up from the baseline, and Zach's up at the net. He's a big, tall boy, just smacking the balls. And then we've got Ethan and Victor at 4 doubles, and I think they're going to do really well too.
That's great. And
Yeah.
your rest of your roster?
Rest of the roster, we've got Carson, Ney, and Alex Lemon.
There you go.
And they've been playing 5 very solid wins. They were just like so close to making that varsity lineup, but every day
They work hard.
They work hard,
Yeah.
and they're just going to be just that much better for the next season. And then AJ Vendrasek. I know.
Vondrasek?
Vondrasek. God, I don't know why. There's so many syllables in
Sorry,
that word. And you didn't help me there at all, Vijay. That was not nice of
BJ, you
you.
look Coach Ham there.
I
Come on,
know
man.
you did. That was a good call. I'll get you for that. And Nikhil Verma,
Yeah.
Victor's brother.
Nice.
And then Kurt Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna miss Kurt. Kurt's also our only 3 seniors. Out of all that crew that I just mentioned,
Only
3 seniors. Only Curtis, and Ethan and Victor. That's it. Everybody else,
Wow.
young team.
So what a team for next
Yeah,
year.
what a team for next year.
And then what
Yeah.
a difficult
The following year.
yeah, difficult for our JV teams JV
Oh, yeah.
players. There's only 3 spots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And anybody else who comes in, like a Graham,
Yeah.
comes
Yeah.
in
Like
from
a Graham.
not playing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But that's what's so, what's so fun is that how much, how hard your JV players have been practicing.
Yeah,
and
for
they're
sure.
all, these were this past season, this start of the season were some tough cuts.
Yeah.
Really tough cuts.
Oh,
And
yeah.
with the Jack Logars and the Brodies, and we
Yeah.
could go through that whole lineup
Max.
too.
We
Yeah.
could.
But those guys are hungry to get on that varsity team.
Oh, they are. They are.
They are really
very
hungry. So it's so much fun because, I work with a lot of those JV players and I work with all those varsity players off season
Yes.
to get them ready for that next season. And so I'm looking forward to working with them again.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And they were we were at Novi, our last JV match at Novi, and we watched Brody and Jack win.
Well,
And-
they got to play court 1
Yeah.
finally, right?
Yeah, first time.
They just have something.
Yeah, undefeated.
Yeah, that's what I said when I stopped by to see you guys,
Yeah,
right?
undefeated.
And that's exactly what Jack Logar just looks at me and he goes, "We're undefeated, coach."
Yes, yeah.
Like,
A
hey,
big sense of pride.
yeah,
And we got a little melancholy, right? That we're not going to.
Yeah, we're not
going
gonna
to see them again.
Well, we don't.
I mean,
we-
on our roster, they're certainly it's up to you, but I think
Yeah.
they have a nice opportunity to move up for sure.
yeah,
It was great. Jack's mom took photos of us with Jack and Brody, which was Brody's mom. Took pictures of us with them, so that was really nice. So I look forward to watching their journey too for the
Yeah.
next 3 years.
Yeah, for sure.
And all of them, Vijay's done a great job of putting in a
Well,
great team together, and working with Vijay is awesome. So we'll keep.
yeah.
Feeding the varsity
and I
funnel.
do want to mention Coach Jake because I could not do this
Oh,
without
of course, yeah, I totally agree.
him. I mean, this is always having the ability. Coach Jake is out there working with these kids, all
Yeah.
the boys too.
Yeah, powerful.
And it's amazing how much he inputs, how much input he has,
And the
in
impact
this.
he has too.
Yes, in the
because you can
impact,
see it,
you can
know.
see it. Yeah,
And hear it. There's mutual respect there too. So it's a beautiful thing, for sure.
yeah. It's always you need to bounce things off people,
Yeah, for sure.
and to collaborate. I remember, I was thinking about the fact when I started is that my 3 prayers when I started the at CC
Mm-hmm.
was one, to get a coaching staff that really care about these boys,
Yep.
not just as tennis players and getting the tennis team, but really wanted to build the character and friendships. And that's what we've seen, right?
Oh,
We've seen so much friendship with these kids over the years. Even the ones that leave, in fact, you'll laugh because your buddy Karoon,
Who couldn't hit 2 balls in a row as freshman. That's an amazing
yeah,
journey.
becomes a great player of varsity.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he came around, made varsity team his junior year, and then played number 1 doubles, and he contacted me, seriously, 2 days ago.
No.
And he said, "Can we do a lesson on Saturday? Because he needs to get ready for his college."
Is he playing club?
Yeah, he's playing club.
Yeah.
So they have some type of tournament. And he
Nice.
needs
Oh,
to-
he made I think he's an MSU, right?
yeah, he's at MSU.
Oh, good for him.
He
Yeah.
made the club team.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Good for
Good.
him. So
Yeah.
you're gonna give him a tune-up.
Yeah, so I'm going to give a tune-up on. And I'm like, oh my God, that's just so much fun. So I
Yeah.
get to see Karoon.
A blessing.
So
Yeah.
Karoon goes from a freshman, can't hit 2 balls in a row.
Yeah.
Right.
He's playing club ball
Yes.
At Michigan
at
State.
MSU.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Amazing.
5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Nice,
pretty
nice
cool to
progression.
yeah, it's really nice.
So
to
Robbie,
see
that's
these
all
kids.
about tennis, but tell
Yeah.
us about Robbie outside of tennis. What are those other passion points you have
Wow.
that you've made us aware of and blessed to hear about it? But I think our listeners would love to hear about some of
my
those
goodness.
things that really light your fire too.
Yeah.
Don't start with golf.
No, I'm not going to. I got to start with God.
Yeah.
You know?
Boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how that goes down. That's what brings my tears to
I
my
see it.
eyes.
Yeah, for us too.
Is just how the Holy Spirit just works in my life, you
Yeah,
know.
that's for sure.
So, I 10 years ago, which is pretty much the same time that I started at CC, I heard God say, "Hey, you got to start going to church." Yeah,
Well, I can hear it in your voice.
yeah. So that's the transformation that takes place and continues to take place. Yeah. Thank you, my friend.
You're welcome.
I got a tissue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's all emotion. It's
oh my God. Yeah. So so at Oak Point, go to church there every Sunday morning, 9:15, and and then I co-lead a beautiful group of women in our Bible study on Wednesday mornings from 9:30 to 11:30.
Nice.
Right now we're going through a Bible study called Navigating the Gospels, which is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. On Mondays, around a year ago, I was walking the neighborhood, and God just wanted me to talk to this woman, and her name's Sue. And we started doing a garden together. So I have this garden with Sue, and then we started doing kayaking. And then Sue asked me if I thought it was a good idea to start a prayer group in our neighborhood.
Nice.
And so there's 9 of us on Mondays. And
So what'd you do? Go knocking on the door?
No. We all just kind of funneled out. We all just said, "Hey, I know this person. I know."
Oh.
So Sue knew me and brought me into the group, and then Sue knew somebody else. Yeah, so Sue probably brought like 2 or 3 people into it, and those people brought 2 or 3 people into it.
But the
Yes.
Sue Robbie connection I think, is pretty powerful because you're walking your dog, and
Yes.
Sue's walking her dog,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you didn't know one another.
No, we did not know
And
each
then-
other.
Then
No.
the Holy Spirit makes His presence felt.
Yes.
And says,
I felt very awkward at the moment.
yeah, because now you got to talk to somebody that you've never talked to
I've
before.
never spoken to her in my life.
And you say, hey,
Yes.
want to do a garden?
Yes, exactly. And guy goes, "Okay, that's the person you're supposed to be doing this garden with." I'm like, "Okay, this is very awkward."
Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah,
So good.
yeah. And so we did the garden together, started the prayer group, and then have a great friendship and all these. It's amazing how God has worked in our life in this prayer group too.
That's
so,
amazing. And that's
yeah.
that's on Mondays.
Mondays. Yep. So on Mondays I do that prayer group. Wednesdays, and then on Thursdays, I have a life group that you guys are going to come to, right?
We are. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
Yeah.
the rookies on the first Thursday in November.
So every other Thursday night, there's a prayer group, and it's made up of the leaders are Sherry and Bill, and they've been my friends, good friends for like 10 years. In fact, I took Bill to the Michigan game, 2 weeks ago. So you guys are going to attend the life group. Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Look forward
So
to that.
that's the other part of my life, and golf is another part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
So I
is
do
a-
my golf and my.
Which is a passion point for
Yep.
sure.
And to show what a great athlete, you picked this game up, and tell us how good you are now.
Well, I don't know how good I am in relatively
cut it out.
speaking.
You're like 35 for 9, right?
No.
That's a little exaggeration.
I wouldn't be here probably.
Oh, that's funny, Rob.
No, my best round I had this summer. I had a couple rounds of 40,
Oh,
which
good. That's really
was
good.
really
Which
good.
is a dream
Yeah.
of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still have that blow up round, which is 52. But I was shooting 52 my best like a year ago.
There
So
you go.
yeah.
What was the other day? We were talking, and you really let me have it about my golf. Remember, you said something
What
about.
I say? What I do? What I do? Well, I let you have it. Did you say something negative?
You're making fun of my golf.
Oh, I'm making fun of your golf.
Oh, your golf.
My golf.
No, Vijay. I think you misunderstood me
yeah.
somehow. I would never make fun of your golf
Oh,
game.
that's awesome. Those insights for our listeners who don't get to see you on a regular basis, I think it's real important that they know
Where your
about
background
you.
is.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
Your heart leads the way with God guiding it. It's a powerful connection, and that's how we got to meet you. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how it all kind of worked out.
Yeah.
So states, what's the prediction there? What's your feeling, Robbie?
We're ranked 5th right now in the
Fifth in the
state.
state right now.
Yep.
Okay.
And if everyone stays healthy, we can. I'm hoping we can jump over fifth and get even to third.
Okay.
That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah.
And the number one, who was the state champ last year?
Bloomfield.
Bloomfield, okay.
Bloomfield and Troy. It's going to be hard to take them down. But, you know, the crazy thing is that when you're in that atmosphere and when you get that adrenaline going,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden you're not backing down and you're picking up speed,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the upsets can happen.
For sure.
So can we get the upsets? There's no doubt in my mind.
Good.
Absolutely no doubt in my mind. Every one of those boys has a chance to do an upset at their flight.
That's great.
Yeah.
Because
Because they're just good competitive players.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know?
Yeah, and like in business, and certainly on the tennis court, momentum is hard to get, but once you get it, it's really, really difficult to want anything else other than that feeling of momentum.
Yeah, there
which
you
is
go.
that hunger that comes
Yes.
through, you know. So
Yes. Yeah.
It's an important attitude to have for sure. An important feeling to have for sure. So that's great. So what else about varsity? What else do you need to share with us? Would you like to share?
Well,
with us?
let's see. I'd say what happened at Stony Creek. Okay, so Tyler was out. He couldn't play at 3 singles. And Stony Creek has a very good team
Okay.
and a very good singles lineup. So I had to put a sub in. So I put AJ in.
Oh,
As
no
our sub.
kidding.
And
AJ
AJ
Vondracek?
Yes,
Okay.
that is true.
Thanks, Rich.
I don't know why I can't say so many syllables, but I can't. Yeah, and AJ, he's got some knee issues, but he is so dedicated, and his parents are so dedicated.
Oh my goodness, for sure.
His parents would bring the bike to practice, to the matches, so that when he warms up, he doesn't have to run and get the
Low impact.
low impact.
Yeah.
He rides his bike to warm up his muscles.
Yeah.
And he's just looking to get better. He just has that eagerness to get better. And I just thought, he wants to play singles. I'll put him in the singles lineup. This is our last match. Give him a chance.
Sure.
Because I like to give everyone a feeling. Every single player. My goal is, and I know I fall short, but is to make every single player on that team feel important.
Yeah.
That they have something to offer to that team.
Yeah. Feel fulfilled, right?
Yeah.
At some point.
So I wanted to give AJ an opportunity to play a singles varsity match. Now, I gotta admit, I thought it was going to be a quick loss. And I know if AJ's listening and say, "God, coach, that's not very nice,"
No,
but
but-
I'm just saying, I didn't know.
That's the
Well-
reality, right?
He went out there. He had a really close first set, and he shared with me at the end of the first set that he was tired. And I thought, well, when you're tired and you're playing a push, you don't want to keep the points going, right?
Right.
You got to finish them off. So you got to get to the net and finish it off.
Oh, 1,000%.
And I just said, hey, AJ, anytime you get a remotely ball that pulls you into no man's land, pulls you 3/4 court, just take that shot and just get in.
Yeah.
Don't keep the points going long. And he goes, okay. And he's so receptive. He's so
Very coachable.
very coachable.
Yeah, totally agree.
Extremely coachable. And he said, okay, well, how tall is AJ?
6'3".
6 something,
Yeah, so he
4.
has that presence at the net, right?
Yes.
Well, his opponent started freaking out, started missing it. So he's coming to the net. AJ's putting some volleys away. The guy's feeling additional pressure.
Oh, sure.
He pulls out the second set, and then he wins the tiebreak.
Incredible. Good job, AJ.
What was the tiebreak? Do you remember?
I don't remember, and I'll tell you why I don't remember, because it went on for so long, and it was Monday, and I had to get to the seating meeting.
Oh.
So when the tiebreaker started, I had to head to the seating meeting.
Yeah. That's great. Good
But it
for
was
AJ.
good for AJ.
Yeah, for
really,
sure.
really exciting for him.
He's got such a heart, He's got
Yes.
He's got the heart of a lion. He really
He
does.
really
He's got a
does.
Kind of an old
Passion.
soul in a young.
He's got a passion
Yeah.
that he's learned to control now.
Yes,
Yeah.
he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Because last year, he was still younger.
Yes.
the maturity has
Yeah.
happened, and his mom and dad, like you said, are so involved.
Yeah, yeah.
And do a really great job of guiding AJ. You can
Yes,
see it.
yeah.
It's very, very strong.
Man,
no
we're
doubt about
late
it.
again.
Yeah. Lots of detentions for us.
Yeah.
Now, AJ. That's for sure.
No, I was so proud of him. And the cool thing is that that's an indication of our future of the team.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what, like, I'm always thinking,
He's a sophomore, yeah.
yeah, he's only a sophomore.
Yeah.
And so I'm always thinking,
Well, so is Carson and they're juniors.
those are all
Juniors.
juniors.
Yeah.
But,
So Graham's
Greg-
the only freshman, and then when it,
Ryder's a sophomore.
Ryder's a sophomore,
Right.
and Sadvik is a sophomore.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I'm just thinking we're having a great season this year. It hasn't ended yet. I'm hoping to finish even third in the state.
That would be a
Yeah.
great accomplishment, Coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be proud, for sure.
And then there's more to come. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, so this is fun. Just
Yeah.
sitting here chatting with you guys.
Of course.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else as far as the varsity team goes.
You gave them great hoodies. I saw those. You distributed their
Oh, the parkas.
the parkas are amazing.
Oh, I know. I wore my park. Did you?
I
did,
saw it,
you see
yeah.
I was sporting that
I'm a little-
parka?
I'm a little
I know.
jealous.
Jealous. I'm jealous. I did that on
It was
purpose.
a little chilly today, and I'm wearing the,
I know.
the sweet CC vest, and you got this polar fleece line parka. Oh, okay. What about us, Coach?
Hey, you guys got that hoodie.
Yeah, I didn't get it yet. Do you have yours?
I've got all in my car.
Okay, great. That would be good to maybe get that.
You got the you got the team hoodie. We did. I know the varsity does have
No, no,
extra.
I'm kidding. It's.
I know, but it's nice, isn't it?
It's really really nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to wearing it tomorrow morning when it's a little chilly out
For
there.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I guess the varsity team. Trying to think. I think I talked about Graham just
Yeah.
showing up. Noah has probably the best record, 3 dubs. Everyone, it's it's tennis is interesting because it's got that individual flight
Yeah.
to it, right? But then you have that
Team.
that team component.
Oh my goodness.
And you don't realize like how I like the word you've been using, impactful. Every single win,
Yeah.
when you see someone on your team doing well, it inspires you to do well for
Yeah.
that next thing. And that's what, oh, you know what I did want to share with you, okay? Okay, so going back to my prayers that I was talking about like 10 minutes ago, is that I wanted my prayer was to have an amazing coaching staff, which we have an amazing coaching staff that feeds into the boys, that's knowledgeable about tennis, that have a passion for tennis too.
Thank you. Thank
know?
Yep.
And you guys know that you have the toughest JV schedule there is,
We
because
do.
I think
We
you
make
show
it that way.
I think you show up to the other JV matches and you go, oh yeah, this is our like 20th, and the other teams are going, oh, this is our 3rd.
Right. we play 3. We had a really
Well,
tough season. We played 3 matches.
We played 5 matches. I'm going, and 5 matches, we do that in 2 weeks, right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
less
How
than
many
2 weeks.
matches,
Yeah.
VJ, have we had?
We've had 18, 19 matches. I mean,
Incredible.
if you separate out the A and the B, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've said it on our kickoff podcast, the amount of practice that we put in with these young men is, I think, like no other. I really mean that, and VJ's done a great job of instilling practice with purpose, and I think that's a great mantra. And you see that every season getting deeper and deeper, especially for the players that return. So it's a great foundation that.
And you asked me earlier, like when we started the JV, I had 9 kids. Now we're almost up to 32. We've got
Yeah.
2 JV teams.
Yeah, 2 JV.
Which we started
Yeah,
2
when
years
my son
ago.
played here, there was 12.
Yeah.
No, it's and only getting better and bigger. So it's
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
So my other prayer was to be one of the top teams in the state, and my third was to be recognized as being the best sports in the state
That's great.
and with good character.
Yeah.
So 2 days ago, after we played Stony Creek, one of the Stony Creek parents sent the AD office a email giving us kudos about our sportsmanship,
Yeah.
saying that we were like the best team of sports.
We hear
What-
that.
You know?
What a transition.
We
So
go ahead.
I was going to mention, I was going to go through the last 2 weeks for JV.
Yeah, please.
Oh, go,
But-
yeah, sorry,
but
yeah.
So, from lady. So the first team I have on here is when we played Brighton. All right, we were, we really played. I mean, we really beat them, right?
Mhm.
And every score was lopsided.
6-0, 6-1,
Yeah.
6-2, 6-0.
And I'm not taking anything away from Brighton. I mean,
No,
that's
not
just
at
the
all.
way it is. But it wasn't the wins that impressed me. It was our guys were almost feeling sorry for that other team, you know?
You're very humble.
And they'd come off the court and I'd go, what was the score? 6-0. You know,
They
they'd
whisper it.
almost
They
whispering
whisper
it to
it.
me. They don't want, you know.
Yeah.
And
Classy.
then I counted five guys, as soon as the match was over, they went and turned the scorecard to 0.
Back to 0.
Wow.
They don't want to, embarrass them.
You're
So,
very strong.
Wow.
It's a great quality that is CC.
Goodness.
For, yeah,
Goodness,
for sure.
yep, and that's what we're always talking about, and I
Yeah.
know you guys do too. You know,
All
but
the time.
goodness, discipline, and knowledge.
But, the win wasn't what really impressed me. It was just,
Yeah.
okay, we won, but we don't want to disrespect, we don't want to embarrass these guys. Just scoreboard, okay, we won, off the court.
And I must have heard it.
That's so kind. That's
Five
so
times.
such kindness. You
It
know.
is, and
Yeah.
I must have heard 5 times this season from parents of opposing teams that we were the best sportsmen that they played, whether we won or lost.
Yeah.
And it was, again, it's a testimony to the culture here and the culture that we're obligated to make
Yeah.
sure continue with our team. So it's really a blessing for sure.
Yeah,
No
it
doubt
is.
about it.
It is.
So, Coach, what else on JV, my friend?
Well, are we, do you have anything
Yeah.
else about varsity before we?
I just want to thank you guys. I mean, for helping those boys like enjoy the game and get better.
Of course.
You know,
Yeah.
and seek to be on that varsity team.
Oh, they're
so-
hungry. That's for sure.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I think
I'm
that
always
we-
pointing to, look at what's going, when our guys are maybe not putting out the effort, look over there,
Yeah.
you know? If you want to go over the fence,
Yeah.
that's the effort you got to put in.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I think it's good that you guys are practicing
Oh,
with
that's
us.
great.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna people are already contacting me about lessons and everything over at Novi Athletic Club.
Good.
Off season.
Yeah, I've had
you know.
a lot, probably 7 parents come up to me about, okay,
Yeah.
how does Jax improve? How does Vince improve? How does
Yeah.
James improve? I said, Coach Rob and Coach Jake. I mean, they're right
Yeah.
at Novi Athletic Club. Let's get into that.
Yeah,
Right away.
I mean, you've seen the stories of the Owen Kendalls of the years and Karoons and
yeah,
all
for
those
sure.
guys.
Yeah, it
You
happens.
know, going from JV to jumping up to varsity. And
It happens.
next year it's going to be, difficult, right?
Yeah.
Because there's
Oh,
only
yeah.
3 spots.
Yeah.
But then after that,
Oh, yeah.
we're going to need those boys to be able to step up, just like the crew right now stepped up,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah,
It'll
Going
continue,
back, but
continue to build.
Yeah.
But just going to Robbie and Jake is part of it.
Mhm.
The other part, you really have to want it, right? I mean,
Yes.
it's gonna take work.
Yeah.
but you have to realize too. I think that you, Vijay, you, Charlie, Jake, and myself, because we enjoy being with the boys, they know that, and they respond to that, and then they start, and as they develop their tennis, it's like they get better at tennis. They enjoy being with us. They enjoy being with the other boys. They enjoy all the
Absolutely.
friendships. And then they enjoy the winning, and having all the success. It's a combination of it all. Like,
Yeah.
how do we grow that desire? The desire doesn't grow in a dark corner by itself. That's what I'm trying to get
No,
at.
have to work
I mean, you have to discover that it's in you, and the only way you discover that is for people to bring it out of you. I think, in situations to bring it out of you,
No,
right?
no question about
And
it.
then when you falter, when we lose, that we feel like there's someone there to help you to that,
Yeah.
get up, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's putting the pebbles in the stream, right, to get that desire built. It's all these little ingredients that happen during a conversation, during a match, or at practice, and getting to see the light go on behind their eyes that says, okay, I can do this, and I really do want to do this. And it's very easy for me in my third year to see those on the team this year who have that next level desire to do
Yes,
that.
exactly.
It
That you help, and some people, as you're helping them, they don't have that, they
Yeah.
just choose not to.
Yeah,
but-
and
yeah.
coming up when we were at Stony, one of the parents came to me and says, Coach, I just have to talk to you. Our son's a little disappointed because he played at a higher level in
middle school.
in middle school and at different clubs that he's part of, and and that's where I've always tried to use the term candor as kindness with my family, sometimes to their dismay, but in business, but certainly here coaching, I said, okay, well, disappointment's a part of life.
Yes, it is.
So it's not
Yeah.
always going to be exactly what we need it to be, but tell me a little bit more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the fact was that there was a disconnect between what the player was hearing from me and actually what he was doing. I said, okay, so how should I speak to you? Because from my point of view, you're not quite as coachable as you need to be to take the next step. Because when Coach Vijay and I tell you things, we're telling you that so that you increase your desire and improve your skill set. We're not saying things just to say them. There's a purpose behind our commentary. And it was, okay, well, that makes sense, Coach. So my son needs to be more coachable. I said, well, yes, he does. He needs to be a better listener. And that's really
Yeah.
what it's a part of, because it's not one-on-one that we're giving him during the practices, but we're giving him fractions of information that he's
Yeah.
got to be able to take and do some stuff on his own too.
Yeah.
So those are the kinds of conversations that are challenging but need to be had.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So it's all part
That's
of it.
good. That's
Yeah.
good.
It's all part of it.
All right, I think I'm good with varsity. Nothing else popping
Okay.
in my head
So JV
right
coach?
now.
Okay, so we have 2 weeks of matches that we need to go over. I don't know. I think we talked about Brighton, but the Brighton match we were 12-0.
Yeah,
But
it's
that's not the
outstanding.
biggest takeaway I had from that match.
Yeah.
It was the way our guys were in our crest, goodness,
Discipline, knowledge.
discipline, knowledge, the goodness part. We beat them pretty badly. But what I loved was when most of our guys came off the courts, I'd ask them what was the score, and they wouldn't. Usually, if you win a tough match, they're just wanting to tell me out loud. But these guys were like, they were almost whispering to me, 6.
Yeah, they were downplaying.
Yeah, very
the
downplaying it.
lopsidedness of the
And
match.
I saw many instances of, okay, match is over, our guys quickly walking over to our scorecards and turning them into
Back to zero.
back
yeah.
to zero,
Wow.
because
Yeah.
if you look down the line, it was all just the same.
Blowout matches.
Yeah, blowout matches.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was really proud of our guys
Yeah, for sure.
for being that way.
No doubt.
Then we
Showing respect,
respect.
you know?
Yeah,
to your opponents.
Yeah.
Even when you know that you're so much stronger. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important. Yeah.
Then we had Skyline, and we talked about their coach.
Yeah.
I really like the guy. We won 7-2, and you had a
Yeah, I really
story.
loved the way, because they were rather late. They were about
Yeah.
an hour and 12 minutes late. And I wanted to make sure that in the excitement that we got back to refocusing, and the majority of the players did that. There was because we were 7-2,
Yeah,
correct?
7-2.
Yeah, one of the teams I knew that I couldn't wrangle them back to focus before we got started, and the score was indicative of that. It was
Yeah.
6-0,
Yeah.
6-2, because they didn't have that refocus point. So that's something that I'll do a better job of as we continue to move forward. But focus is a real important part of it. And I loved how they, for the most part, they did a great job of beating an opponent, of doing well against an opponent who was an hour late after they had all that adrenaline come out of them. They had to regroup. So it's a good testimony to their
Yeah,
Is it
they got here
discipline?
like 4:30.
yeah. It was late for sure.
And then, did you want to say anything? Or?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Bloomfield Hills, we started, but we ended real quick. We
Rained
were
out.
15 minutes in, and most of the courts we were ahead.
Yeah.
But the skies opened up, and varsity got rained out too.
We did. Yep. We didn't even start playing. Yeah.
Then the C home, that was a good win. We were it was both A and B, and both of the squads were 5-3 against them. And the C home coach talked to me about maybe doing a home and away next year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. And you wanted to sit down with me to help out with the schedule
Yeah.
for the JV
Yeah.
team.
We're
Yeah.
becoming pretty popular, Vijay. I think people want to hang with us.
I know.
As
Big
Robbie
time.
said.
Big time popular. Yeah.
I think we have Saturdays. We should do a quad on a Saturday.
Yeah, I agree.
Here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
I would love that a lot.
Then Macomb Invite. I think we could have done better, but we had 5 medalists,
Yeah.
and the one person I want to talk about is Max.
Yeah, Max
He
was
got second
playing
place.
out of his-
Mm.
playing really, really well. And again, tough opponents, no question about it, especially the C home opponent, but really did extraordinary. He got a second place medal, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Max is a good player. I mean, he was one of the last cuts from varsity. Yeah.
And I think you said in our prior talk that he's
Yeah.
also a soccer player. so
Yes.
he's another athlete,
Yes. Good.
so
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's very powerful too, and lots of support from his parents. And I think one of the things that we noticed about these invites is that they're not used to playing 3 matches.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where fitness comes into play, as well as being able to recover from their aerobic
Yeah. We've got to
deficits.
start building that in during the off season.
And-
So along with Coach Vijay and Coach Robbie and Coach Jake, we're gonna do some work on the track in terms of not running miles and miles, but doing some high intensity interval training on the track before we practice, which I think will go a long way to fitness for the young men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
look
well,
forward to
I
that.
think I know it's about recovery and all that, but tennis fitness is a little different than running a marathon.
Yes, for
Oh,
sure.
big
You know.
time.
Yeah,
Big time.
for
Big
sure.
time. Yeah, for sure.
No, that'll be
Because you want to kind of, it's combination of the aerobic where you do, not super long distance, just a couple miles, but then you do the interval training like you're
Yeah,
talking about,
yeah.
where you'll do a sprint and then your body starts, gets pushed,
Yeah.
and then it becomes more efficient, after
Yeah.
you do that over and over and over again. So you can do a sprint and then you can do a walk and then a sprint and
That's
then a
right.
walk, and that's kind of that's more duplicating the rhythm of a tennis match,
Right,
where you
you're-
have to go full out for a very short period of time, and
then
then you
recover.
get a little recovery time. Yeah.
Yeah, as you're going to get the ball and serve, right?
Yeah, of
Yes,
course.
exactly.
You have to do
Yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah.
off and on, off and on.
Very-
And if you can recover faster, you're going to play that next point better,
Yeah.
right? If you're huffing and puffing and having difficulty catching your breath, and then you're
Mechanics
trying,
will break down.
yeah, your mechanics will definitely break down. Hmm.
Then we went to Stony Creek, where I want to point out Santiago.
Yeah,
and
Santiago
Cooper.
and Cooper played a
They,
great match.
they got off the bus. They were supposed to play right away,
Yeah.
but Stony Creek, one of the boys was sick, so they had to wait for one
Oh,
more.
the other match to get off, yeah.
to get a
right.
player.
Yeah,
And but then their match, the 2 guys they played, they were just screwing around.
Mm.
But our Cooper and Santiago just kept
Yeah,
their
I love
focus.
Santi the way he
I do
did
too,
it,
yeah.
and Cooper. I have to tell you, of all of our players, and they've all done a great job progressing, but Cooper has stood out for me from where he was in the beginning to where he ended the season at Stony on Monday. I believe has progressed the most. He has a strong desire to improve. He's got great focus. He's one of the more coachable young men I've had in my 3 years here, with great parental support. And he's really kind of an old soul in a 15-year-old body, if you will, because he takes things very seriously.
Yeah, he does.
And it really
He does.
shows up on a tennis court. So
Yeah.
he has the opportunity, even though he doesn't realize it, which is another beautiful thing, how good he can really be. And it's up to us to bring it out in him. But he's got the desire to do that. And again, great parental support, as we have across the board. Our parents do just an amazing job of supporting our teams.
Oh, they
Everything
do.
from
Amazing.
from snacks to spirit,
Yeah.
and they do a great job of that for sure.
Yeah, Cooper, I started him back
Yeah.
in June. That's when he started playing tennis.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And
Yeah.
he just took it right away. I mean, he's improved. During those couple months, he improved a
Yeah,
lot.
for sure. I
But,
bet.
knowing that he was going to be on that I was like, at the time, I was thinking, oh, wow, I hope he makes the JV team.
Oh, yeah, for
Now to know that he just keeps
Oh.
getting better and
So
better.
did he just come
Yeah.
to you, or did you know?
No, he, I do my tennis camps in the
Oh,
summertime,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And he got word of the tennis camp, so he did the tennis camp all summer long. Because I do that 4 to 6 group with more of the varsity high JV level.
Yeah.
And then the 6 to 8 was for the, you helped me out in the summer from 6, and you even
Yeah, I
came
did,
out and
yeah.
subbed in for me.
It was great.
For all ages, but primarily for, new kids that are coming in.
Yeah. I think that's such a great way to get kids to maybe come here.
Well, it's such a great story, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's a great story.
you're talking about Cooper now,
Yeah.
and I always love to see, where Cooper was at. I'm just giving you behind the
Yeah, of
scenes. Like,
course.
where was Cooper just 4 months ago?
Yeah,
It's pretty
right,
amazing. It's
yeah.
not like he's a kid who started playing tennis when he was 10.
No, no.
He's a kid who had the foresight to say, hey, I want to be part of something at CC, more than
Yeah.
likely,
Yeah.
and had participated in the CC tennis camps, which I'm so happy that we, provide those.
Oh, no, it's so
and
important.
and then the nice thing is too is that he's a freshman, and he gets to meet all these other boys, right? Like David was doing the CC camp, and
Yeah.
and Shanti was doing the CC camp. All these freshmen, and they get to know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they start school, my goodness, they start early, right?
They do
But when they
start
start
mid-August.
school on August 12th, they walk
Yeah.
into this school already
Already
knowing people.
Yeah, that's
You know,
a great
because
point.
it's not like a lot of these kids are coming from various other middle schools.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Santi's really. I think they live in like the Canton area, and that was Santi wanted to come to CC.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So you're not. Some of these kids, granted, are coming from OLB or a number of kids from their class are coming to CC,
Yeah.
but some kids are coming in by themselves.
That's great.
It takes a lot of courage to do that.
No question.
And then when
about
they're
it.
part of a fall sport like tennis, they feel part of CC right away.
Immediately, right.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
And I know from hearing kids, you remember lunch at school?
Yeah.
Who you're gonna sit with?
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
The table.
At the table,
Woo!
right?
Yeah.
Table, hanging out with your friends.
Yeah, for
when
sure.
you're new to that. But it's so nice to know that these tennis kids usually are all hanging out with each
Yeah,
other.
for
They're all
sure.
having lunch together.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
great.
I want to add something. So just like you said, Cooper started like this summer, right?
Yeah.
There's another kid like that who's really going to
Oh,
progress.
Josh.
Josh.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh.
Josh Canary.
Yeah.
Such an athlete.
Such an athlete.
Well, you
yeah.
got Josh, you've got Johnny, you've got David, you got James.
Yep.
All those, there are a lot. And Jax.
Yep.
Jax was just started out
Yep.
too.
Yeah.
And
Big-time hockey
start
player.
off the
yeah.
and
He's
Josh.
He's an athlete for sure.
Well, Josh, I started at Novi. They contacted me back in probably March or so. So I started Josh with private lessons first, and he was a football player
Yeah.
here at CC.
He got injured.
And he got injured and moved. Isn't that great though? He moved into another. I love picking up kids from other sports. I picked up football players. I
Baseball
picked up
players,
baseball
yeah.
players, hockey players too.
Yeah,
right?
that's great.
Yeah.
No, all good.
So and Josh always just I love I smile, but when I play tennis, I don't always smile a lot. When I coach, I'm okay. But Josh just has a smile
Yeah,
on his
all the
face
time.
Always.
all the time, right?
Great spirit.
Yeah, just enjoys the game.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
little athlete,
No doubt about it.
and has really taken off. So he was another
He's
one.
more of
yeah.
an athlete now than a tennis player, but once that tennis comes up,
Yes.
watch out.
Yeah,
Each session gets better.
yeah. The skills. People don't realize that there's so much involved in tennis and
Yeah.
learning tennis. It's such a skill-driven sport.
Oh, no doubt.
Because there's so many different things you can put in your toolbox.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And as it says at the U.S. Open, right on center court, it's the healthiest sport.
Yes,
So
I know. Do you guys know that we have an extra 10 years because we're tennis
that's
players?
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got
As
an
I'm
extra-
getting old, I'm going to need it. No, that's really good.
Okay.
So as the season ends, as we talked about, the sentiment is when I see it around and meeting these coaches, they can't wait for the season to end.
I know.
And
Yeah.
Vijay and I are
I know.
sad when we don't want it to end.
Yeah.
We get melancholy about it.
Yeah.
Well,
But what Vijay has started here at
Well, you
CC
started that singles doubles tournament.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, I think it ended in December.
Yeah.
You know,
we did. It was pretty cold
went
when it
going
ended.
and going, which is
well, I had to
awesome.
ask you for indoor courts.
That's true. That's right. That's
That's right.
right.
We
That's
did
what I
finish
remember. You
indoors.
started going indoors.
That's right.
Yeah.
So when does that start, Coach? When does that
So our let me where did I end up? We had the Macomb invite.
Yeah.
We talked about Max. Then we went to Stony Creek. Talked about Santi
and Cooper.
Cooper.
Yep.
Then we ended Tuesday at Novi with some injuries, but we had some great play on courts 1 and 2. We won
We
both
did.
courts 1 and 2,
Wow.
and
Jack and Brody.
Jack and Brody were on court 1, and they're 2 freshmen who've been amazing all season.
And it was
Yeah.
a little sad because we won't be coaching them again.
Yeah, we might not.
And-
We'll,
and-
it's all.
Well,
it
they're
all
going to be
depends.
working with me off season some,
Yeah.
so I'm yeah.
And Brody's mom
Yeah.
was kind enough to get us and with Jack's dad take a picture of us.
Yeah.
So it was,
There's a little bit of
yeah,
sentiment there.
yeah, a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
they played really.
I know when I saw Jack, I say, "Hey, Jack, how you doing?" I'm undefeated, coach. That's how I'm doing.
That's right.
And that's the mentality that you need.
Jack,
You know,
Jack
to get to that
Jack
next level.
has that bite in him that
Yeah.
you want on court.
Oh,
Yeah.
He just needs to control it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But he's got that. He's got
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
You know, he's a good golfer. Do you all know
Yeah, I
that
heard.
too?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Heard that
yeah.
from Jack's dad.
Yeah, he's a very good
Yeah,
golfer too. Mm-hmm.
really good golfer. Yep, for sure.
So then yesterday
But can I say there was
Oh,
one
sure.
compliment from the Stony Creek coach about Brody.
Oh,
Oh,
Brody's-
yes.
Yeah, so please let's
Yeah,
not miss that.
yeah,
That there
yeah.
was
yeah.
a
So we're leaving, and one of their coaches comes up to me and says, "That redhead, he's the best JV player I've ever seen."
Wow.
yeah, for sure.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
We've got a good, yeah.
we have a good
That's
squad here.
Yeah.
Um,
And I don't know if I mentioned, when you guys played Novi yesterday, and I stopped by
Yes.
to see you all, and then I saw Coach Hansen,
Yeah.
who's retired. He doesn't.
he's a longtime varsity coach.
Yeah, he was a varsity coach, and he came up to me and said, "This is the best team we played this season." Yeah.
Yeah, I heard a lot of that sentiment from some of the a lot of the parents of the opposing opposing teams let us know how they feel like our young men are the most, while being competitive, are really the best sportsmen.
Sportsmanship.
So it's a
at the same
tribute
time.
to our
Yeah.
goodness, discipline, and
Yeah.
knowledge. So it's
Yeah.
it's very positive.
Yeah, because you can't. I love the fact that we support what's happening in the school.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. No, I do too.
And then, so yesterday we started our tournament, and Charlie had a great idea about it. Well, I'll let you.
Yeah, after this week.
Well,
And I think
last week's
week, and all of us being moved by the passing of Father Kaufman, that along with Coach Vijay and sharing it with you, Robbie, that we'd like to name our year-end tournament the Catholic Central JV Father Kaufman tennis tournament.
Wow,
So
that's
we'd like
great.
to put his
Yeah.
name on
Yeah.
over the
on the trophies.
overarching the tournament, but also on our trophies and our plaques, whatever we
Yeah.
whatever
that
we
would come up
provide.
with.
I think as a nice tribute, we should
Yeah,
do that, and certainly Vijay agreed, and hopefully,
I think that's a great idea.
yeah. So
Yeah. So I think it would be great to give out the individual trophies,
Yeah.
but I'll talk to Mr. Babbitts and see if we can come up with a plaque.
that'd be great.
And then
With
put a
Father
little-
Kaufman's memorial JV
And
tournament.
the
Yeah.
winners.
And the winners, yes.
Yeah, that's
Singles.
Yeah.
I
The
love that.
year and the whole thing. You know how you get that
Can we
plaque.
be retroactive? We've done it. This is our 3rd year.
Oh, sure. We can be retroactive.
And
Yeah.
this year, Coach, your coaches are playing in against the students.
No way.
So Coach Vijay and I have a doubles match today against Evan and
Grant.
Grant. So yeah.
Okay, if any of those boys give me a couple Chick-fil-A's, I might give them some insight on your games. No, just
That would be great. That would be.
Or vice
awesome.
versa.
Yeah, for sure. So we're doing that. And we're
Yeah,
playing.
yesterday
today.
was day 1, today's day 2.
Yeah. Go on
There
for
may
it.
be day 30, like you said.
I
Right?
know.
It could
You
go
never-
right past
yeah.
Thanksgiving. You never
Exactly.
know the way the
Yeah.
scheduling goes. But and then we were talking about fitness and
Mm-hmm.
recovery. You know, and I think that it bodes well for all of us. And I've learned through my life that, and we talked a little bit about offline. We talked a little bit about when people get older, because I think you have something at your church.
Yeah, what happened is that there was kind of a, I think, recognition that in our culture, this whole word of retirement comes up, and a lot of people slow down. And I've sadly heard even, where people like retire and then they pass pretty
Yeah.
fast,
Yeah.
It's almost like
Oh, yeah.
like they lose purpose,
Yeah.
right? And there's not a planning sometimes.
That's for
So with the charters at our church, it's purpose driven.
Yeah.
So what purpose do you want to have for this period of your life?
Yeah.
Where do you want to put your energies? Do you want to put your energies towards tutoring kids? I know you've tutored kids, and like we have programs that go to Cody High School, and people do tutoring through the reading tutors or math tutors, or caring for people or helping out in the child center at church, whatever.
Yeah.
There's so many different things that happen. So they offer up all these programs. So to direct, older adults
Yeah.
into helping and feeling worthwhile. And I love the fact, and then they even like have, more fitness classes, Bible studies specifically for that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the in quotations the give up, right? When you get to a, it's unfortunate, but there's a moniker on age that you give up, and then I think you said there's grace in movement, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's where it really happens, and I take that quite seriously. So yesterday, if it's okay to.
Oh,
talk
please
about-
do. Yeah.
So yesterday I
Yeah,
turned.
because I love you to share this with
Thanks.
everyone, because you shared it with me. I'm just like so in awe of it. Yeah.
Thanks, Robbie. Yeah.
Because one thing you mentioned earlier before you start, you mentioned the Blue Cross Blue Shield or something
Yeah,
like
back
that.
back in in May of 2018.
Yeah.
I was asked by Michigan Senior Olympics through the Blue Cross Blue Shield CEO to talk through fitness and discipline at any age, because he felt that even though they were preaching health, they weren't walking the walk. So I got to
Yeah.
speak to 1,500 people about fitness and discipline at any age, and I take that very seriously. And
Wow.
what I've been doing for a
Yeah.
long time is there's a Japanese saying called a misogi, which is you do one thing a year that gets you way out of your comfort zone,
So good.
that you feel is a marker for that calendar year. My misogi for this year, I turned 72 yesterday, was to ride 72 miles on my triathlon bike on my trainer in my basement. So I was able to do that. It was my amazing daughter Carly's birthday on October 8th, and we had a nice lunch together and we celebrated. And then I was going to start like at 2:12 in the morning, and then be able to come here and play tennis with Vijay at 9.
2:12?
So yeah, the hour and the minute have to match on my alarm, which is a little. There's something probably to that. But we had a great dinner, and it was like Vijay and I went through the seatings, and Coach Robbie, it was like 9:30. I said, "Well, are you gonna go to bed? Just shower up and let's get after it." So I went downstairs and was able to complete 72 miles in 5 hours, 34 minutes, and 58 seconds.
Wow.
So I was able to complete my misogi, but also I'm blessed with be able to do the things that I do.
Yeah.
And the tattoo on my arm says "Blessed to never give up." So I took
And you
that-
were telling me that you had to stop for a second, put ice packs
Yeah,
on.
yeah, so my
and
left-
then then you have some contraption
I
you're
do.
gonna
It's
share with me,
contraption.
because I'm having a little twinge in my knee.
As
Yeah.
Vijay says, "Charlie, you got all these gadgets." Well, I was
I
full
love
of gadgets,
gadgets.
on my left side because my knee, the outside of my knee started to act up. So I got some ice around my calf. I had an ice pack on my quad, and there's this thing called firefly, which you wrap around your upper calf, and
Yeah.
you press it right right by your fibula head, and it stimulates the peroneal nerve,
Okay.
which explodes 4 times as much blood circulation to that whole area, and takes care of your lower body. It's quite the
Wow,
quite the contraption.
That's quite
so,
the gadget. Yeah.
so blessed to be able to do that and check that off my list. So it's a positive. It was a positive moment for sure. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
That's so
this
good.
man is not 72.
No, he's lying.
Yeah. So it was good. Thanks for letting me share that.
Oh, of course. No, that's
So-
that's so powerful.
Yeah, and
You know,
again,
it's so powerful that we keep on moving and
For
have
sure.
fun doing it. You know. Yeah.
And my dad back in the day, well before it's now popular,
Mm-hmm,
he always would impart upon us, my amazing
Yeah.
sister and I,
Yeah.
that the presence of oxygen is the absence of disease.
Oh,
So
very
the
nice.
more you breathe, the
Yeah.
more you force yourself to breathe,
Yes.
the more deep breathing and exercising you do, you hold off some of those misfortunes of disease. So
Yes,
I take
yes.
that, I've taken that very seriously for a very long time.
So instead of just waiting for things to happen, you make the choice of being more proactive.
You got it, and preventive.
Yeah, and
So-
preventative.
Okay,
That's
so
good.
Robbie, thank you for being our special guest here on
Well,
episode
you guys
2
know
of
how
Beyond the
much
Net,
I just like pop into your tennis mornings sometimes and come over.
which is
and-
great.
and-
We love
and-
that.
And just chat with you. In fact, that was so much fun.
It was.
What was it last Thursday?
Yeah.
We
2
we
weeks
got
ago.
canceled out. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we got a little playing time
did.
in. Yeah, before my golf.
And-
It was funny because I show up and Vijay's like, "Oh, really? You're gonna play tennis with us?"
That's
I
right.
said, "I'm just delaying golf. I'll be playing golf a little bit
And,
later."
and Coach Jake, because he is so
Yeah.
competitive, let me know that he won $24 during
Yeah.
playing.
In fact, yeah, that Thursday morning,
Yeah.
I played with you two in tennis, and then met up with
Were you guys
Coach Jake.
playing skins?
I was kind of a bystander. Yeah, I was not involved. I didn't want
Nice.
to. I didn't. Yeah, I showed up for the second set of 9 holes, but Jason was there and Gino were playing with Jake.
That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, God, they can hit the ball.
So, Robbie, thank you for being part of our episode 2 of Beyond
Yeah.
the Net. And,
Yeah, this was special. Thank you.
blessed to have you here. So, Vijay,
Well,
thank
well-
you for all your prep.
And we'll have another special guest for episode 3
Look forward to it.
next week.
Okay.
And we'll get an update on regionals.
Yeah,
Regionals and-
I'll
and,
stop by and
and-
give you a
and-
30-second
Yeah, that would be
update
great.
on how
And-
regionals
and
was
then-
and
Okay.
yeah, how that
and,
all turned out.
Then on
Really
to
good.
States.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because next Thursday we're heading to States that
Yeah.
morning.
Okay.
We hop on the van.
Well, keep
But
us-
if you can't make it.
I'll hop in here if you're in here at 8 o'clock. I can hop in and say
Okay.
Oh,
hello
okay.
before
Yeah.
we get on the
Yeah.
get in the van.
Yeah,
That'd be
okay,
great.
That'd be great.
keep us posted.
Yeah.
All right, let's go play some tennis.
All right. Go Rocks.
Go Rocks.